Andy Burnham has won a historic third term as Mayor of Greater Manchester. To little surprise, Mr Burnham defeated his rivals with a huge 63% of the vote. The Labour Mayor had ran his campaign on new public transport for Greater Manchester, alongside a new renters' charter. Meanwhile, the Conservative Party candidate Sarah Evans finished second, with a much reduced vote share down from 20% in 2021 to 10% this year. Reform Party finished fourth, being beaten just by a right-wing independent candidate. Labour also did very well in the council elections, retaining their status in Manchester as the largest Labour group in the country. However, they did make losses, notably to the Workers' Party of Great Britain, with their deputy leader losing their seat, and also in the vote share to the Green Party across Manchester and across the country more broadly. We spoke to Labour's councillor for the Piccadilly ward, Councillor John Lyons, about his result and Labour's fortunes across the country.
We put in so much work, both in the short campaign in the 6 weeks leading up to the election and all year round. We've been doing loads of work, so really happy that the voters in Piccadilly ward, across Piccadilly ward, have the confidence in me and the Labour Party to continue to work for them and serve them as their local councillor.
We've obviously seen, quite large Labour majorities across the country. In Manchester, as you'd probably expect, Labour tends to win. We have seen a rise in the Green Party share of the vote across the country and here, and also independent candidates as well. What do you think Labour's response to that could be? And obviously, I know in seats such as yourself, you're probably going to be okay, but in terms of the broader Labour picture, does the party need to be worried at all about?
Well, I think the Labour Party across the country needs to work really hard in their local seats with local candidates to make sure that voters know that we're on their side. In this seat, in Piccadilly ward, for instance, the Green vote went down because we had a local candidate, myself, working really hard all year round, not just at election time. In Hume, for instance, we had a local candidate, again, working all year round, and we took that seat from the Green Party. So when we have local candidates who work all year round, showing people that we're representing them, working people and families, we can win, and also we can win with large majorities as well.
Does that at all make you worried then about potentially the Labour NEC imposing candidates on different areas across the country, and kind of that maybe the perception perhaps of that kind of central London operation in Labour HQ? Is that?
Well, I think having a local candidate is really important, and obviously you can have local connections to an area, you can be from that area, moved away for job opportunities. That's all completely understandable and reasonable. Unfortunately, we've had an underinvestment in certain parts of this country, many parts of this country, for many years, so it's understandable that people have moved away, but they are from the area, they've got family ties to the area, and they're seeking to represent that area to do it proud. So that's understandable. But yes, absolutely, we need to have local candidates selected by their local parties. That's a really important thing that I believe in. That's certainly the case for councillors. It should be the case for members of Parliament as well.
Uniquely, Mr John Lyons used Grindr as part of his election campaign, using the gay dating app in order to highlight his pledge to improve and protect the gay village.
So obviously you had a unique part of your campaign. You advertised on Grindr, which has received some media attention. What was the idea initially to do that? What was the impetus in terms of getting down?
So it was about kind of coming together with my campaign team here in Piccadilly ward and thinking about different ways we can reach voters in places that they are, in spaces that they are. We've always ran ads on Facebook and Instagram. We do leaflets and letters. We do some posters as well. So we're thinking about a different way, and someone in my campaign team came up with doing Grindr ads. I mean, Piccadilly ward, we're quite an LGBT ward ourselves, so we came up with this unique way of targeting voters in spaces that they are, and we wanted to do it in a fun way. I used the app many years ago when I was at university, so I kind of knew the vibe of the space. So we used some puns, no ghosting, just voting, for instance, and that saw a huge click rate. We had over 5%, which is far higher than our Facebook and Instagram ads see, and that's because we added a bit of humour whilst injecting some politics into that space, which I don't think people usually see. I haven't seen another politician anywhere across the UK use Grindr for election ads, so we're really happy that this worked for us in this instance. So just before the local elections, we launched the Gay Village Review and Action Plan, which was the council's commitment to protect the gay village, i.e. from kind of outside development and making sure that development works for the village and not against the village, but then also a robust plan to actually improve it and enhance it. So that's everything from kind of making sure the bins are better kept and rubbish taken away in a kind of orderly fashion, to actually large-scale pedestrianisation of the village and improving it as a kind of a pedestrian and as a kind of a space for tables and chairs and all kind of things in between, and as well as a community anchor as well for the LGBT Foundation. So we're looking to do loads of different things, both on a small scale and a large scale, to make it a much better space and also protect it as well.